Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Calvin Lim Investing. Today we just got a really cool segment. We're going to go through some of the stocks that I will be looking at this week and sort of a couple of setups to watch. And hopefully you can take this information with a grain of salt, but it can also help you turn some profitable trades. So with that being said, just a couple of housekeeping things out of the way. First off, I am not a financial advisor or an expert, so please consult with one before you begin to invest. Next of all these ideas, analysis are all my own opinions, so always do your own research and due diligence before you buy a stock or go through with the trade. Finally, my friends and I have a really cool Discord. I'm going to drop the link in the description below. It's totally free. Come on in, join me, and get to know some of us better, and feel free to ask all the questions that you would have. So, with that being said, let's jump right into this week's watch list. Let's see. So first off, we have Apple. I drew this just a little bit ago. You can see that Apple has a line rising top. It hit it once, twice, 2 times, and a third time. Each time it's hit that level, it has retraced a little bit and then set a new high. So I think that this pattern is bound to follow. I think Apple might dip a little bit lower before breaking above 160. To be safe, I don't think Apple is going to be a really great short-term play, but you should probably go further out. Apple is releasing their next iPhone details next week or in the coming week, and usually there's a pump up to the event and then there's a sell-off. So just be careful. I think that Apple does have a lot of potential. I'm going to keep an eye on this pattern and be looking for another break. So I do think Apple will move back up and at least reclaim this 156 level. So I will be keeping an eye on Apple for this week. If there's a large dip, I do anticipate buying in to the dip. The next stock that I'm looking at is going to be SoFi. SoFi dropped after earnings a couple weeks ago. They are almost a month ago, and they were struggling. And they've traded around $13 before climbing back up to about 15. For SoFi, I believe I see a nice level of resistance right around the $16 range. For the most part, it has failed to really break and hold above 16. Meanwhile, it looks like there's a solid amount of support right around here at 15, about 15.15. For the last couple of days or the last week, it's been kind of trading around here, so I will keep an eye on this, and I do think SoFi is poised, if it can break above 16, to really have room to run up to 17 and maybe even the $19-20 range. So I am pretty bullish on SoFi. It's one of my long-term holds, but I'm also interested in playing SoFi options as well. Next off, I got Square. Let me see if I can clean up some of these lines. And okay. So Square, let's go to the daily, gives you a little bit better view. So Square has been struggling here a bit in there. It hasn't really moved a lot, but I do see a top right here for the most part, about 280. And it's trading, and I do see a nice level of support right here, right about the 245 range. It's hit it once, twice recently. So I do see that's a nice level of support, and another level of support way down would be 192, but I don't anticipate Square really dropping too much from there. Looks like there is another level of support, 201. We can see. We can see if this works out as well. But if Square can hit this line and just bounce back up and retrace, there's definitely a lot of potential to profit. So I'm also pretty bullish on Square. I'm going to be keeping an eye and see if it can hold this level of support, which was also a little bit of resistance at one point. and to see if it's going to close below 245 in the upcoming week, and so forth. So Square is the third stock that I'll be looking at this week. Next off, we're going to have Airbnb. Airbnb is trading really well as of late. It's ever since this huge drop back in April and May, it's climbed steadily, and I think that there's going to be a lot of room for it to run. You see this is, I kind of got this line right here and this line right there. It's trending slowly above it. We're going to see what happens, but I do think Airbnb will eventually come back to the 180 level, and then probably maybe even up here, the 195 level in the near future. Airbnb is going to be a powerhouse as travel starts to recover even more. I think the company is going to be poised or is going to be positioned to do really well. So that being said, Airbnb is another stock that I'm looking at this week, and I'm definitely pretty bullish on Airbnb, but if it does break down below some of these levels, that's when I'll rethink my strategy with them. But for now, I do anticipate entering a position with Airbnb. Finally, the last stock I'm going to be looking at is going to be Boeing. Boeing has been hammered as of late. You see the trend is not very kind, but I do think that Boeing is poised to retouch this line before another move down, so I am playing potential sympathy bounce, or if there's any good news, Boeing can reverse as well. In addition, there is a level of support on the daily right here. This is the second time it's hit it. We're going to keep an eye on it to see if Boeing can push above it. But ever since reaching the high of 277, it has gone not very kind since then. So I'm going to be looking at Boeing to see if it bounces off this line. If so, I may play an entry for at least a push back to 220 and potentially 230. No, it's $20 of room to run possibly, and that's definitely an area I can take some profit. So with that being said, those are just the 5 stocks that I'll be watching this week. And I am going on vacation. I'm going to be out of town for a little bit, so I will be going around. So I'm not sure if I'll be having a watch list next week, but stay tuned. And once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Calvin Lim Investing. I appreciate all your support, and please feel free to jump in our Discord and talk to some of these amazing folks. And you can always ask me any questions you have about investing, ticker, and so forth. So I hope to see you guys around, and happy trading.